Army ROTC, and today I'm here to talk to you about this book called Emotional Intelligence 2.0 by Travis Bradbury and Jean Graves. So basically this book breaks down emotional intelligence, or better yet known as EQ, into 4 different skills. You have self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. And also it gives you 66 different strategies in order to improve upon your EQ. And better yet, it gives you a survey that you can take to see what level you are on currently. So today I'm going to share with you my results and 12 different strategies that I chose out of the entire book to improve upon my EQ. Okay, so the first skill is self-awareness. So this is basically the ability to accurately perceive your emotions and know how to be aware of them. And so I scored an 85 out of 100 on this portion of self-awareness. I picked 3 different strategies out of the 66 to help me improve upon them. So the first one is know what triggers you. And if you have the book, it's on page 72. Know what triggers you. Basically, you find the source of what makes you mad, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what really strikes that emotion that makes you go off the wall. This is good because if you know the source of what's triggering that emotion, it becomes just less of a surprise to you that it's going to happen. And this also opens doors to letting you be able to manage that emotion. The second strategy I chose to improve my self-awareness is observe the ripple effect. And that is on page 66 if you're following along. Basically, imagine you have a stone and you drop it into some water. The water is going to start having ripples. So think of this as you having an emotion and you drop it. All of a sudden there's ripples. It outpours into not only your life, but people surrounding you. So as a leader, you have 2 choices. If you choose to be mad and have a bad attitude, that's going to spread. It's going to ripple out to everybody else around you, and they're going to have a bad attitude. They're going to be mad. But vice versa, if you choose to be happy and make everything around you a positive environment, that will help. If you choose to be happy and make everything around you a positive environment, it's going to affect the people around you differently. It's going to actually make them happier and also help you build trust with your people too. The third strategy that I chose is visit your values on page 86. So the third strategy that I chose is visit your values, and that's on page 86. So basically you create 2 columns. One column is your beliefs, your core values, everything that you want to be in life. And then the second column are things you've said and done recently. You'll look at it, you can reflect on this list and think, am I conducting myself the way that I want to according to my core values and beliefs lately? And if that doesn't align, then you'll start to notice, and every time you start to do something that isn't in your core values or beliefs, you'll start catching yourself thinking about it, thinking about, oh, that list, and then you'll eventually end up correcting yourself. The third strategy that I chose is visit your values, and that's on page 86. So basically you create 2 columns. One column is your beliefs, your core values, everything that you want to be in life. And then the second column are things you've said and done recently. You'll look at it, you can reflect on this list and think, am I conducting myself the way that I want to according to my core values and beliefs lately? And if that doesn't align, then you'll start to notice, and every time you start to do something that isn't in your core values or beliefs, you'll start catching yourself thinking about it, thinking about, oh, that list, and then you'll eventually end up correcting yourself. The second skill is self-management. I actually scored a 93 on that one. Self-management is the ability to use the awareness that you have of your emotions and manage them in a course that you would like best. One strategy that I chose is breathe right. I actually started doing some meditations. There's some apps that you can download for this. There are some apps that you can download. It's called Headspace. If you do like to do meditations and such, it takes about 1 minute. Breathe right, it really just helps you calm down. Something that you can do, even counting to 10. Counting to 10, I know it sounds super cheesy, like you're a kid, but it actually really works. It throws your thoughts off of whatever is making you mad, sad, angry, anything like that, and keeps you focusing on your body movement and your breathing. Alright, the second strategy I have for you is to smile and laugh more, because a smile makes everything better. I do some training on the side, teaching classes, and during those workout classes, my clients would be in pain. They would be exhausted, and what I would say is just smile, don't forget to smile, and they'd smile, laugh. It just makes the environment a lot better. The third strategy I have for you is have a mental recharge, and that is on page 131. So you basically start your week scheduling these mental recharges. Mental recharges I like to call self-love. You're basically putting time aside for you and yourself to replenish your mind from all the busy work days that you're going through. And you can do anything, gardening, hiking. I like to work out personally, so I actually put an hour out of my day in order to go to the gym and just leave everything in the outside world outside. Alright, the third skill is social awareness. I scored an 80 on this. This is actually my lowest skill that I had, and it actually gave me some improvements on the survey that we had to take. The improvements it had for me was to greet people by name and practice the art of listening. So I actually chose those strategies to explain to you today. Social awareness is basically the ability to pick up on emotions of those around you. And the first skill that I have for you is greet people by name on page 139. You'd be really surprised on how special it makes someone feel whenever you say their name specifically. It shows that you care, that you paid attention, that you took the time to actually learn, memorize their name. The third skill that I think is the most important strategy that you can work on is practice the art of listening. It sounds really simple, just listening to someone, but I would actually catch myself throughout the day multitasking, which is part of the reason why I'm so bad at listening. I would be doing something else, typing an email, while my friend would be talking to me about a situation that they actually really care about, and I would just hear bits and parts of it and then act like I genuinely care. This is something I'm working on, something I plan on getting better on doing, and a way to actually get better at this is to, whenever somebody is talking to you, just stop what you're doing. Stop typing that email, stop watching your video, memes, whatever it is that you're doing. Actually stop, listen to the words that that person has to say to you, and hear what he or she has to say. The fourth skill is relationship management. I actually scored an 89 on this. This is the ability to be aware of your emotions and other emotions, and be able to manage those emotions, to connect to each other in order to get the best outcome out of them and build that relationship with each other. The first strategy I have for you is to avoid giving mixed signals on page 185. This basically means that you want to be consistent with your emotions and with your body language. You can't just say, cross your arms and say, I'm extremely happy. Your face, your voice, your emotions just don't match up. And people like to believe what they see over what they hear. So it can get really confusing to people. The second strategy that I have for you is on page 191, and it is to build trust. This is extremely important in all leadership and relationships in general, whether it's with your spouse, with your friends, with your family. Without trust, nothing is there. There's no relationship. You can't depend upon the other person. There's a quote in the book that I like a lot. It is, "Trust is something that takes time to build and can be lost in seconds. It may be our most important and most difficult objective in managing our relationships." So with this, you have to ask yourself, how is trust built? It's built with open communication, willingness to share, consistency, actions, behavior over time, and reliability. You can even ask the person directly. The book says, use social awareness skills to ask the other person what needs to happen to build trust, and then listen to the answer. Once again, going back to the listening part, asking will show you care about the relationship, which will help build trust and then deepen the relationship. The third and final strategy that I have to share with you is have an open door policy. I love this. The book explains it as having access to you. My professors actually have an open door policy. I am never afraid to go in there and ask them a question, just because I know I will always be welcomed and that they will always help me to the best of their ability. This helps also build that trust that you need. It just gives you a foot in the door to talk to the other people, and some people just don't like to be confronted, so they can always come to you in private if they needed to. That basically sums up all of the skills. You have self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. Overall, I scored an 87 on the test out of 100. I'm still working on improving all of my skills, but to share with you, improving your EQ steps, you need to focus on one component at a time. Choose your weakest component. So mine would be my social awareness, which I told you I'm going to practice that listening and greeting people by name. Then choosing a mentor also helps too. I'm actually going to show some clips of another thing the book actually says that I love is, if not practiced regularly, it is like a muscle that is not trained, and you will lose flexibility in its strength. So EQ is definitely not just something you wake up having great EQ. It's something you actually really have to work on in order to improve upon yourself. Another suggestion that the book makes is to choose a mentor, choose an EQ mentor, write their name down in the book. It actually gives you some slots inside of the book. I actually have some rolling clips that I would like to show right here of what my mentors think of EQ.
Emotional intelligence is important to any leader to be able to effectively communicate with their soldiers, peers, subordinates, and overall, you're not going to be very successful in your career if you can't communicate.
I think emotional intelligence is important to an Army leader because in order to be a successful Army leader and lead a successful team, you must have self-awareness, which is identifying your strengths and weaknesses and your team members' strengths and weaknesses. It is also important to be able to understand the dynamic of your team in order to successfully meet the mission.
Okay, emotional intelligence as a leader is very important. Not only will it go alongside with trust as part of the Army profession, but having that empathy and understanding your soldiers, your peers, your hires, and what they're going through emotionally can affect the outcome of your mission.
I believe emotional intelligence is important for both leaders and soldiers in the military because every day we are faced with daily stressors and we want to be able to control and react to those. So it's like the analogy of a water bottle versus a soda. When either one of them is shaken up, which one's going to react more? You want to be the water, not the soda. So that's why I think emotional intelligence is important for the military.
I think emotional intelligence is very important to future leaders at the cadet level or leaders of all sorts in the United States Army because, cadets never come to me asking me, "Sir, I just got a question for you. I've been losing sleep over this all night. Please help me know the answer to this question. Where do you place the Claymore anti-personnel mine system within a patrol base?" Cadets don't ask me that type of question. You go to the book for that type of question, and you come to the lab environment and feel, understand where to place the Claymore inside the tactical environment. But you guys come to me with questions about, "Sir, I'm struggling with this relationship. I'm struggling with this negotiation. I'm just struggling with a lot of things related to emotional intelligence." So that's why I think it's really important we work on and exercise our emotional intelligence skills because those are undervalued soft skills, which which impact every other type of operation we do as leaders in the Army.